I still remember the day I got the call. It was every dancer's dream. The world tour for Beyonce, the Sasha Fierce era. The energy was electric from the first rehearsal. We were pushing our bodies to the absolute limit. Every move had to be perfect, sharp, fierce. Beyonce was a force of nature, a true perfectionist. But there was something else, an intensity I couldn't quite put my finger on. It started with the mirrors. In the dead of night, during those grueling marathon rehearsals, I'd catch flickers of movement in the vast studio mirrors. Not our reflections, but something else. A shadow that danced just out of sync. A figure that was taller, sharper, its movements impossibly fluid and aggressive. I'd blink, and it would be gone. I told myself it was just exhaustion playing tricks on my eyes. We were all running on fumes and caffeine. Then the whispers started. Faint, sibilant sounds that would slither through the music during playback. It sounded like a name, or a command, hissed right into your ear. A few of the other dancers heard it too. We'd exchange nervous glances, but nobody wanted to be the one to break the spell, to be seen as weak or crazy. The rule was simple: you keep up, or you get replaced. So we pushed it down, ignored the cold spots that would suddenly appear on the stage, and just kept dancing. The Sasha Fierce persona was more than just a stage name. It felt ... separate. When Beyonce would transition, it was like a switch being flipped. Her eyes would darken, her posture would change. It was mesmerizing, but also deeply unsettling. During one private rehearsal for single ladies, the power suddenly went out. We were plunged into total darkness, except for the emergency exit signs casting a blood-red glow. For a moment, there was just silence. Then, a low chuckle echoed through the massive, empty arena. It wasn't Beyoncé's laugh. It was guttural, ancient. The air grew thick and cold, and the distinct, metallic scent of ozone filled my nostrils. I could hear one of the other girls start to hyperventilate. Then, from the center of the stage, where Beyoncé had been standing, came a voice. It was distorted, layered, like two voices speaking at once. One was hers, the other was a deep, menacing rasp. It said, "She is mine." The lights flickered back on as abruptly as they had gone out. Beyoncé was standing there, head down. When she looked up, her eyes were wide with a confusion that looked genuine, asking what had happened. We all just stood there, frozen. Nobody said a word about the voice. What could we say? We finished the rehearsal in near silence. The energy of the room completely shattered. The tour was a global phenomenon. Every night, tens of thousands of people screamed for Sasha Fierce. And every night, she delivered a performance that was nothing short of supernatural. Her stamina was unreal. While we were backstage, gasping for air, our muscles screaming, she would just stand there, radiating this cold, predatory energy. I started noticing things, small things. Her reflection in the polished stage floor would sometimes move a split second before she did. Sometimes, her shadow would stretch and contort into impossible shapes under the stage lights. I tried to talk to her senior choreographer, a man who had been with her for years. I cautiously brought up the strange occurrences, the whispers, the feeling of being watched. He just gave me a tired, sad smile. He told me, "Sasha gets what Sasha wants. Just do your job, hit your marks, and don't look too closely." His words chilled me to the bone. It wasn't a denial. It was a warning. The final leg of the tour was in South America. The fatigue was bone deep, but the weirdness had escalated. Equipment would malfunction in bizarre ways, but only during certain songs, the most aggressive, the most Sasha numbers. Microphones would pick up static that sounded like screaming. One night, a rigger swore he saw a dark, winged shape clinging to the lighting rig high above the stage, just before the show started. He was replaced the next day for drinking on the job, but we all knew he was sober. My breaking point came during the final show. It was the encore. The song was Halo, a moment that was usually a relief, a shift in energy. But that night, it was different. As Beyoncé sang, I looked at her projection on the giant screens, and for a terrifying split second, the face on the screen wasn't hers. It was something else. The features were gaunt, the eyes were hollow, black pits, and the mouth was stretched into a silent, agonized scream. Then, just as quickly, it was Beyoncé again, an angelic smile on her face, singing to her adoring fans. My blood ran cold. I stumbled on a simple 8 count, something I could do in my sleep. I nearly fell. I looked around, desperate to see if anyone else had seen it. But everyone was lost in the performance, their faces a mix of professional focus and exhaustion. Was I the only one? Was I going insane? After the show, I packed my bags. I didn't wait for the wrap party. I didn't say goodbye. I wrote a brief note citing family emergencies and left a career-making gig without a second thought. I couldn't take it anymore. I felt like whatever that thing was, that Sasha entity, it was starting to notice me. It felt my fear, and it was feeding on it. I've never danced professionally again. I teach at a small local studio now. It's quiet. It's safe. Sometimes, when a Beyoncé song from that era comes on the radio, I have to leave the room. My heart starts pounding, the hair on my arm stands up, and I can almost hear that sibilant whisper in my ear. People talk about how an artist pours their soul into their work. But what if, sometimes, in the pursuit of perfection, you create a space for something else to pour in? I saw what fueled that fierce, flawless performance. It wasn't just talent and hard work. There was something else on that stage, a passenger. And to this day, I believe Sasha Fierce was not a persona, it was a possession. And what I saw during that tour will haunt me for the rest of my life. Thanks for watching. If you have any similar stories or thoughts, leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more strange tales. Stay safe out there.